Before I can show you how to tell if you're a modern day witch with palmistry, I should explain what palmistry is and what I mean by modern day witch for those who might be just starting out. If you're already familiar with these and want to skip ahead, I put the chapters down below for you guys. Being a modern day witch isn't casting spells like you see in the movie The Craft. It's a spiritual practice that can be followed just like any religion like Christianity or Judaism. If you guys want to know more about the witchcraft religion called Wicca, tell me in the comments below and I'll make an entire video just for you guys. With that out of the way, what is a modern day witch? Just like with all major religions like Christianity that have different followings within it, witches do too. But unless you want to watch a 6-hour video, I'm just going to mention a few of the bigger ones. First up, we have a healer witch. This would be somebody who's a natural at caregiving. What does that mean? This is someone who likes helping others, taking care of people, and they feel truly fulfilled spending their time doing that. Think about a white witch. Their position was to heal and care for those around them like medicine men and women would have done. And today we see many of our healthcare providers dressed in white continuing this tradition. Next up is the intuitive witches. These are people with an uncanny sense of things. Think about a detective following his gut, or that feeling that someone's about to call you and then they do. For witches who practice this skill, that feeling of maybe turned into an understanding of why. Mediums and psychics would be considered high-level intuitives. Last but not least, we have the occultist. This is someone who has a deep interest in the mysteries of the paranormal and the supernatural. But it goes farther than that. It's not about watching ghost adventures, it's about being a keeper of knowledge, like a librarian or an archivist. Ever heard of Dr. Strange? He's basically the occultist. So now that we've defined what a modern day witch is, let's get into what palmistry is. Palmistry is the practice of measuring the hand, whether it's the length of the fingers, the size of the palm, or the relationship between them. It also includes reading the lines on your palm to try to understand what information they can tell you. These lines are what we're interested in today. If you look at your hand, you'll find a lot of lines, but there are 3 major ones. You have the headline, the heart line, and the lifeline. The headline deals with our mental, psychological, and intuitive abilities. The heart line, commonly known as the love line, tells you about your emotional makeup and your relationship with others. And the lifeline doesn't tell you how long you're going to live, but it does tell you the quality of your life. Remember the headline for later when we get into the palm readings. Reading a palm is like inspecting a painting. You're looking for specific patterns or shapes that tell you about the art. For example, reading the stutters in a brushstroke can tell you who painted it the same way a palm reader can see that breaks in your lifeline can indicate struggle or strife. Take a look at your hand. That line, that second from the top, that crease in the middle, that's your headline. If it's curved or sloping versus straight, then you've got the sign of an intuitive witch. Congrats on completing your first palm reading. Now that you're a palm reader, let me show you what to look for to find out if you or someone you know is a modern day witch. You already know if your headline slopes or curves, you're more likely to be an intuitive witch. But that's not the only sign. You have the intuition line circling what we call the mount of the moon, which can be found on the lower portion of your palm under your pinky. This is a clear indication of being an intuitive witch. But not all lines are as long as the intuition line. We have the healer lines, for example, which are small, maybe even faint vertical lines at the base of your pinky on the outside of your palm. With these, more is not always better, depending on how you look at it, because if you have 4 or 5 of these lines, you're capable of powerful healing. If you have 6 or 7, you are meant to be a powerful healer. If you have 8 or more, you probably mastered healing in a past life. Just like the headline and the intuition line, the healer lines aren't the only way to tell if you're capable of being a great healer. If you have the health line, you'll find that it starts under the pinky and heads diagonally towards the wrist, under the thumb, cutting across the plane of Mars or the center of your palm. But not every sign is so straightforward. Something like the psychic triangle is a faint pale triangle at the base of your ring finger. This triangle implies that you have great powers, but may have suppressed or blocked them due to fears lingering from a past life. But remember the occultist from earlier, the eclectic Dr. Strange character? This sign, called the Ring of Solomon, creates a half moon starting from the outside of your index finger to the start of the middle finger, and it symbolizes a deep interest in the occult or mystic arts. Going further into occultism, you have the mystic cross. Found within the gap between the headline and the heart line, having a cross here indicates a natural gift for mysticism and occultism of all kinds. Where it lies within the gap tells its own story. A little too far towards your index finger, or Jupiter, the more self-fulfilling your interest in occultism becomes. Moving towards the middle starts a tale of purpose. It's no longer about your pride, it's about your legacy. You feel compelled to leave something important behind. Slide now over to your pinky or Mercury, and things become more artistic. You're more likely to be a creative that gains celebrity status for your work. People just kind of seem to flock to you and the art that you create. As you're looking at your hand to find the Mystic Cross, you might have noticed a lot of other crosses and lines on your palm. Or maybe you notice that some lines are broken while others create shapes or intersect with each other. All of these, in addition to their locations, can indicate important information about your personality or destiny. If you want to see a video with more about palmistry, tell me in the comments below and I'll make it just for you. Otherwise, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun making it, and hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.